Hello beautiful people, and welcome to your astrological forecast for the upcoming week. In this week we'll be integrating the after effects of the Leo new moon and already starting a preparation for the next lunation, which will be the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th. And also we will be entering into the month of August, so there are a lot of things and changes going on. Obviously there will be a few stationings going on next week, few signs changes. We're gonna get into all of that, and also we are going to enter into the week with a moon in the sign of Virgo, which is all about learning and adjusting always. So anyway guys, before I go into the astrology, I want to mention a few things. So first of all, my seasonal sale has now ended, so it's no more. However, if you are a Leo and you are celebrating your birthday, then you can choose any of my readings for 25% off. So this is a new thing I'm gonna be running continuously. So if it's your birthday month or birthday season, then you can choose any of my readings with a 25% discount, except for my mentoring. Yeah, that is not applicable. And also I will be taking some time off coming September, October because of some personal things. So if you do want a reading with me, I just want to make you aware that I will only be offering readings for the month of August and then pick up again from the month of November. I will not be available for personal reading in the month of September or October for personal reasons. And you will find out more about that as the time continues, but at the moment I'm not yet ready to make that announcement. So anyway, with all of that out of the way, now let's dive into astrology. So I am actually recording this on Saturday. You will be watching this on Sunday or whenever after that you choose to watch it. So today on Saturday, let's see what's going on. I don't think there is much going on. We entered into the weekend with, of course, the after effects of the Leo new moon, and especially the exact Sun-Pluto opposition, which took place yesterday on Friday. And moon today, sometime later on today, will be moving into the sign of Virgo. Depending where you are in the world, for me it will be almost midnight over here in Bulgaria. However, wherever you are, that's when it's going to affect you. In any case, by the time you're watching this, moon is very likely in the sign of Virgo. Tomorrow on Sunday, so there when you might be watching this, Mercury will be square in Vesta, and then we will enter into the new week with Monday the 28th, with moon still in the sign of Virgo, transiting through the final decan, which will be Taurus decan foundation. Very good. So making an adjustment so a new foundation can be created. And also Venus in Gemini will make a sextile to Chiron, 27 degrees 9 minutes. And the last conjunction between Venus and Chiron took place on June 1st on 25 degrees 44 minutes of Aries. And this of course is the first sextile, which is Taurus sextile, the foundation. So what are we doing? We're making choices that are in alignment with our needs, values. Venus obviously being a sign of Gemini, it's all about the choice. It's all about the multiplicity, tuning and tapping into the multidimensionality of who we really are. And with the Chiron in Aries, this is a new way of being, you know, we're stepping into the unknown over here. All right, then on Tuesday, moon will move into the sign of Libra, which is all about balancing, but also let's just remind ourselves it is a cardinal sign, so that is a new energy. And also Tuesday 29th, you know, number 11. All right, then Wednesday, on Wednesday the 30th, Chiron will join the retrogradia and will station retrograde himself on 27 minutes and 9 degrees of Aries, which is interesting because that's 9-9, 27 and 9, you know, 9-9. And Chiron will remain retrograde until 2nd or 3rd of January, again, depending where you will be in the world at that time, 2026. So Chiron will be then retrograde until the end of the year and will station direct in 2026. So Wednesday the 30th, Chiron stations retrograde. So this will be us revisiting the old wounds that are preventing us from stepping into this new direction, because this is a year of healing and clearing. You know, I called it the boot camp, which is also valid, but this is also the year of healing and clearing, absolutely, with the Virgo energy and South Node in Virgo. Now in a new phase conjunction with Mars, of course. Okay, so then Thursday 31st, we have a sign change. Venus is moving from Gemini into the sign of Cancer, and Venus will remain in the sign of Cancer until August 25th. That's when she will move into the sign of Leo, which will be already a Virgo season, and that will be already after the first new moon in Virgo, which will be on the 0 degrees. We have two this year. The second one will be in September, and that will be the eclipse. All right, so Thursday the 31st, Venus is moving to the sign of Cancer. It's interesting because obviously Cancer home, and that's the day when I'm traveling to spend some time with my family in Slovakia. So that's just, some personal information over there. And also on the same day, Moon is moving to the sign of Scorpio, which of course makes sense for me. But going back home, going back to Slovakia, and Moon in the sign of Scorpio, absolutely. All right, so Moon in a sign of Scorpio, this is how we're going to enter into the weekend with, indeed. Then, depending where you are in the world, either Thursday 31st or August 1st, for me here in Eastern Europe, or, by that point Central Europe, it will be already August 1st, so new month. Well, let's welcome in August. For you, it still might be Thursday if you are in the US. And on that day, Sun is going to conjunct Mercury retrograde in Leo on 9 degrees, another number 9, which is all about endings, culminations, endings. And their last conjunction before this one took place on 29th of May in the sign of Gemini, also on 9 degrees and 1 minute. This is 9 degrees again. All right, and then also on the same day we will be, this is actually the only busy day of the week, because this is not a very busy week, obviously, from what I mentioned so far. So on the same day, we also will be experiencing Venus in the sign of Cancer, making a square to Saturn retrograde on 1 degree 37 minutes. And then also later on the same day, Venus will also square Neptune retrograde in a sign of Aries, 1 degree 58 minutes. And we know that Venus made a triple conjunction to both Saturn and Neptune. So for Saturn, Venus and Saturn, that was throughout January and April, all in the sign of Pisces. And then Venus and Neptune also conjunct 3 times. However, the third and so that was in February, March, and the final one happened on the 2nd of May in the sign of Aries. That was the first one, first conjunction between Venus and Neptune in the sign of Aries in our lifetime. But they're gonna have quite a few more, while Neptune is obviously in the sign of Aries. So this is the first quarter square for both Venus and Saturn and Venus and Neptune, which is the crisis in action. What are we doing? Well, we need to change, right? Venus being a sign of Cancer is going to help us to really tap into the true essence of who we are. Who is the true self, right? The true self, because we just had this new moon in Aquarius, new moon in Leo, which is all about rebirth of a sense of authentic expression and purpose and destiny. So Saturn and Neptune both in a sign of Aries retrograde, they are helping us to really tap into this new direction, this new sense of meaning. What do we want to create? How do we want to experience reality? And now Venus squaring, both from the sign of Cancer, first quarter square, it's all about, okay, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who you really are, in these new timelines that you are choosing for yourself. So that is all Friday. Then on Saturday, the moon in the sign of Scorpio is going to trine North Node. And then on Sunday the 3rd of August, moon is going to be busy, in the sign of Sagittarius, because moon is moving into the sign of Sagittarius, at 9 o'clock. Another number 9. So Sunday the 3rd, which is actually adding up to number 11 because it's the 3rd of August, moon is moving into the sign of Sagittarius, which is all about growth and expansion. We know that, of course, at the moment, Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer, so moon and Jupiter will have a mutual reception by the end of next week. So this is all about expansion of who we are becoming. And then, of course, this is already starting a build up towards that full moon in Aquarius, which will take place the following week on August 9th, and I will cover in my next astrological forecast. And also we are going to have the 8-8 portal that week, so that will be pretty profound week, and I will be still in Slovakia that week. So let's see how this is gonna play out. However, okay, so as I mentioned, this is not a crazy busy week. There is obviously more happening this week that's been in the previous weeks. This week that we just ended was the busiest week of pretty much of July, and this transitionary week from July to the month of August, there are things happening. As I already mentioned, Chiron stationing, Venus is moving into Cancer, and then we have that busy Friday over there with the Sun Mercury conjunction and Venus square to Saturn and Neptune, and entering into the week with Venus sextiling Chiron. So Venus is the the queen of the show for next week. But apart from that, apart from that, that's it, so this is once again telling us about the significance of the lunation we just experienced, this new moon in Leo, which was very well aspected by all of the big planets, right, all of the big players, because of course currently all the lunations are connected to Jupiter, because Jupiter is ruled by Cancer, but also this new moon in Leo, it by itself was of course being sextile by Uranus, trined by Saturn and Neptune, and opposed by Pluto. As I mentioned, the exact opposition took place yesterday when I'm recording this, so Friday. So this is all about helping us to truly reconnect with who we really are and who we came here to be. So, I'm not going to go into million verbiages over here because there is really nothing to say. We are integrating the new moon, which is like the time of moon just gaining the first light. Obviously, by the end of next week, we are going to have moon in the sign of Sagittarius, which will be coming into the trine with the point of this new moon in Leo. However, this first, we know that in an astrological wheel, the bottom half of the astrological wheel is your inner world, right? From pretty much from Aries until Virgo, and then of course you go into Libra, and then you're going to integrate into society. Then you're going to get out there, right? So the moon is going to be in the lower half. It's going to be in the lower half for the entire week. So it's going to really help us. And it's interesting, like I said, that we start in the week with moon in a sign of Virgo in the Taurus decan, and also Venus is making the first sextile to Chiron, which is again the Taurus energy, which is all about the foundation. We are creating this new foundation of a new sense of self, of course, also because of all these retrogrades and Chiron just about to join the club. This is all taking you inwards, because this is the process of individuation. This is where it is not going to be the same thing for everyone. It is not going to show up and play out the same way for everyone. So this is why, all of these like astrology and prediction and stuff, they don't really matter. They don't really matter. Like, yes, energetically, it's good to know, like, yeah, all these things are going on with astrology. Oh, yeah, like we are integrating new moon. Chiron, is stationed in retrograde. Venus is moving to Cancer. Okay, we're going to be more sensitive, even though, yes, Sun is in the sign of Leo. So we think like, oh, yeah, action. But, Mars, which is how Pluto acts consciously, is indeed in a sign of Virgo. Mercury is retrograde, yes, in a sign of Leo, so again, ruled by the sun, but retrograde. So what does this mean? What does this mean? That, yes, the action is being pointing you inwards, and this is something that is funny because, yesterday my own shaman told me that, because I said like, oh my God, I'm forced to do nothing, and he said, well, yeah, when you're forced to do nothing, you will realize that is the hardest thing to do. So now with all these planets, well, not all of them quite, but fairly few, the majority, planet being retrograde, soon to be joined by Chiron once again, we are forced to take the action inwards. So even though we are in a Leo season where we think like, shouldn't I be creating something? Yes, you are creating a new sense of self. You are creating a new connection to your heart, new connection to your intuition, new connection to your self-awareness. You really getting to know yourself. This is really what we're doing, so it's not much of a doing as doing in the outer. It's more of a being and becoming. That's the word, becoming. We are in the state of doing by becoming. The becoming is the doing. So that's why even now Venus going into the sign of Cancer, and Venus is our needs, our values, our relationship in the sign of Cancer. It's all about self-nurture. It's all about this how am I connected to my own self, to my own senses, to my own body speaking to me, also with Mercury, the communication being in Leo, my heart, how is my inner child speaking to me? Am I actually listening? Do I actually pay attention to what is going on around me? Or am I always stuck somewhere in the past or in the future in my head, in some story or in some drama, because of course, Leo season, there is plenty of drama going on out there. So how much of my focus it's outwards and how much of it is inwards? So now with all these retrograde planets, once again, soon to be joined by Chiron, the wounded healer. However, Chiron, the most significant thing to know about Chiron is it's the key. It's the key between the Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is retrograde in Aries. We know that Venus is going to square Saturn by the end of the week exact. So also Neptune. And Mars is, of course, in the sign of Virgo, ruled by Mercury retrograde. Also, Uranus is ruled by Mercury retrograde. So, yes, so we have all of these, Chiron being the key between Saturn and Uranus, and Saturn being retrograde, and Mars connected to Mercury retrograde and connected to Uranus as the ruler of Pluto, and Mars is how Pluto acts consciously. So going back to this Chiron going retrograde as well, it's saying that the only way you're going to find the answer to your question is if you go within. If you go within, because the retrograde planet is forcing you to individuate. How are you going to individuate when you're looking outside of yourself? You're just going to, the outside world is the feedback, the outside world is the reflection, the outside world is the information gathering. But if you allow the outside world to shape who you are becoming, then you will never see your true self. You will never see your true self, because you will always be trying to adjust to somebody else's needs and values. That's why there is an inconjunction between Taurus and Libra. They don't see each other, because the Libra will always just see a reflection of itself, like it looks at someone else and it goes like, okay, well, how do you see me? How do you see me? Who do you want me to be? Like it goes both ways, because also the external world is always trying to project onto us what the external world wants us to be, like I was just recently speaking to someone about these things, about when you change and then everybody around you has to change, but not everybody wants to change because they are invested, they are invested in you playing a certain role for them, and they want you to keep playing that role. So when you choose and you say, no, thank you, I don't want to play that role anymore, and I don't want you to play that role anymore for me, I just want to, do something that I'm choosing to be, rather than just blindly walking asleep in this world, playing all these roles that we assign to one another, in that pre-incarnation state. And now we decided, with all these planetary changes that are going on at the moment, with all of this new energy, that actually, no, I want to become a conscious creator of my reality once the physical body, and I want to now end these contracts. The number 9, so many number 9s, right? Also, I'm looking at the 1st of August, number 9, Friday. That is exactly the day when Mercury is conjunct Sun, Venus is squaring Saturn, and Venus is squaring Neptune. And Mercury and Sun, they are conjuncting in all these masculine signs. Last time it was in Gemini, time before it was in Aries. So it's all of these, there is action to be taken, but how are we taking the action? The action has to be taken from inwards. Because why? Because we are in a year 9, which is the Hermit. Hermit is all about introspection, is the Virgo. Is that you have to go within and sit with yourself to truly understand what does this mean to you, the discernment, the meaning, in opposition with Pisces. So again, when we look outside at the external world, we get a feedback mechanism, but we allow the outside world to shape us into becoming, to become what the outside world wants us to be, that we will never see our true value, because we will only see ourselves as a reflection, we will only see ourselves how to verbalize this. Our sense of self-worth will be always determined by someone else. So we will only see ourselves through the eyes of someone else who sees our value through their own filter. Is the role I'm playing for you, do you think that's a valuable role? So that's how you're going to see my value. If you see me and what I do and what I say as something that is valuable, then you see me as valuable, but it doesn't actually determine our value. It's just your perception of me, and this is the problem. If I allow myself to feel unworthy because of my amount of subscribers, or how many people listen to me or don't listen to me, or how many people like my videos and stuff, then it is not the true reflection of who I am. But if I believe that it is, then I will always feel disempowered, because I will always seek external validation, but to feel worthy, right? So this is what's going on here. We just had this new moon in Leo, which with all of these, outer planets expecting it, amazing, fantastic. But most of these planets are retrograde, right? Saturn, Neptune retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Uranus is not yet retrograde, but is ruled by Mercury, who is retrograde, right? And Mercury and Sun is just now having a conjunction. Exact conjunction. So that's resetting a cycle between Sun and Mercury that last time happened in Gemini, the choice, right? In a Gemini season. So now with Venus moving from Gemini into the sign of Cancer, is saying, okay, but the choice has to be made from within, because otherwise it's not an authentic expression, right? Because, well, I mean, Venus not has yet come into the sign of Libra, but Moon just had the new Moon in Leo. That was, sorry, not Libra. What am I talking about? Venus not had yet been, she hasn't been a sign of Libra, of course she hasn't, but she has not yet been a sign of Leo. That will be after Cancer. But now Venus just... Okay, let's get my thoughts together. Just now, Venus was in the sign of Gemini, connected to Uranus, connected to Mercury, who is connected to Sun. Sun, of course, was in this new moon with Moon. You know, Moon is connected to Jupiter because it's ruled by the Sun. So we are going through this continuous expansion, continuous spiral. We're going upwards, right? We're going through the continuous spiral of expansion of the consciousness. Jupiter being a sign of Cancer for this entire year is helping us to expand the sense of self, right? So as I mentioned in previous videos, all these lunations are impacting us very strongly because Jupiter is involved. Jupiter magnifies and amplifies everything. Jupiter says like, okay, let's go bigger, let's go beyond, you know. Even though Sagittarius is not yet Aquarius, but it sextiles Aquarius. So it says like, okay, I support this Aquarius thing going on here, which is all about breaking off the pattern and going beyond, going from the Saturn to Uranus, you know, with the key of the Chiron, which is in Aries. And Mars as the ruler is in Virgo in a new phase conjunction with South Node. Venus just squared Mars. Venus just squares the nodes, pointing to the North Node. Venus is now moving into the sign of Cancer. What all of this means is saying there are a lot of things that has to be released. That's why this year now I'm changing it from boot camp, which is still valid, but I'm now pointing us into this clearing and healing, clearing and healing, clearing and healing, you know, because we are making space. Just like I was, talking in my practical application of astrology, and especially the cards that were coming out, the main message of all these cards was about sitting in silence, sitting in stillness, being present with the right here and now, and allowing for us to empty all the residue of the past, empty all these energies that are blocking our chi, life force. What is life force? Life force is sun, the prana, you know, the authentic expression of yourself. You know, sun is just for this lifetime. Sun doesn't have a continuation. It doesn't go like, oh yeah, I was Leo in last life, now I'm Leo again. Like, no, very likely you were something else in a past life, because sun is just for this lifetime. That's why even when sun is the skip step, so if sun is squaring a lunar nodes in your chart, the sun is very significant, but the sun is only for this lifetime. You know, it doesn't point you to the past. It's only this lifetime, because it's the purpose for this lifetime, which yes, could be a continuation of your purpose from past life, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a completely different purpose. You know, maybe before you had a Pluto in a 12, now you have a Pluto in the first, very different purpose. You go from ending to new beginning, right? So that's what I mean. So with these messages that were coming through the cards in my practical application, it was all about this emptying, clearing, detoxifying, reconnected with oneself. And this is what this entire week is about. You know, with all these things that are going on, you know, all this like logical mind explanation of these aspects, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter how you want to identify, the energy is the same. The energy is saying we just had a new moon in Leo, which is saying something is being reborn. What is being reborn? Well, the sense of your authentic expression, the sense of your true purpose, not the purpose that was dictated by someone else. And, you know, like that was part of it. That was part of it because it brought you where you are right here, right now. These contracts with all these other people and the roles we have to play for them, which is not who I am. It is the role that I adopted to play for whoever in my life, to help them to achieve what they need to achieve, and for me to grow and learn to become who am I here to be, right? But now all of that is stripped away, you know, with the Neptune in Aries, with Saturn in Aries. Okay, they're gonna have one more retrograde into Pisces, but that's it after that, at least for Neptune in our lifetime. For some of us, Saturn will retrograde again in a sign of Aries, Pisces in next 28, 30 years. I don't know if I'm gonna be here, nobody knows. There is no guarantee, there is no absolution, but I can guarantee you nobody will be here for Neptune in Pisces again in the next 160 years. So let's enjoy these energies. This is once in a lifetime, guys. This is once in a lifetime, and this is the most important time of your life. I will continue to keep saying that in every video. This is the most important time in your life, because you're literally choosing your next timeline. You're choosing, do I want to continue to just be this person for everyone else, to complete and do all these contracts that are connected to the past, residue of the past, unresolved karma, unresolved things? Or do I now want to say, Thank you. Thank you for playing that role. Thank you for ending this series of Friends or whatever it is that we just ended over here. And now we can all go and be free and play a different role. We don't have to play this role anymore. We can go and find ourselves a different role to play that is more authentic to Aquarian age, more authentic to where we are right here, right now. Because very likely all of us previous incarnation was in Piscean age, right? The most recent incarnation before this one was very likely in a Piscean age. Okay, maybe for some of us already in Aquarian age, in last century, but very likely everybody here had an incarnation in a Piscean age at some point over the last 2000 years. So that's what I mean. This is why we are breaking ourselves free. Because the time has changed, everything is changing. We can see Uranus in Gemini. I mean, this is a timeline of choice, with Mercury in Leo. You decide from your heart. Or yes, you can decide from your wounded inner child. It's up to you. Is there unresolved trauma, these narcissistic tendencies, or what are we deciding? So that's what I mean, we can go talking forever in circles, trying to explain astrology, trying to explain aspects, trying to what does it mean, Venus in Cancer? What does it mean, Chiron retrograde? It doesn't matter. What matters is what does it mean to you, because you know how you feel. Only you know what you're really going through in your life. Nobody knows the story of your life the way you do, because you are living it. It's your fool's journey. Mars is in Virgo, the hero's journey, the fool's journey. Mars was in Virgo last time when he became the ruler of the North Node in Aries 2 years ago in July 2023. So things are coming around. Things are coming around for us to learn and go beyond. Go beyond, because now Uranus is in Gemini, right? And Uranus is saying there is this unlimited amount of timelines to choose from. So why choose the same one? You don't have to. With Saturn in Aries, you don't have to. The contracts are ending. So that's why the remain of this year, especially when Saturn moves back into sign of Pisces, which is the day when Mercury moves into Virgo on September 2nd, right before Uranus stations retrograde on the 6th, and we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, Saturn will be back in a sign of Pisces. So that's why, this month of August, the Leo season, the fire, we have the opportunity to go through these extremes, especially with the temperatures, and realize, okay, where is my life out of balance? What do I need to release? What do I need to burn? What do I need to heal? What needs to happen? Because then we move into Virgo season, which is the transitionary season, where we will be going from summer into autumn, or summer into spring, winter into spring, depending where you are in the world, which is your hemisphere. It doesn't matter. It will be the in-between, and the Saturn goes back into the sign of Pisces. So it's like, okay, now we really have the opportunity to do this for the one more time. There will always be more healing, clearing, and learning, going on, because there's life. There's Virgo, that's human's journey. But we don't have to do it through the same BS, okay? So this all week, in a nutshell, it's you reconnecting to yourself. With all the planets retrograde, you're not gonna find the answers outside. Not the answers, you're gonna maybe find pointers. You're going to find pointers, you might find things that are going to help you to click things into place, but you're not going to find the right direction, you're not going to find the right answer to who you are and who you are becoming. That's something that could only be discovered from within, which is the Hermit, that star of the future in the lantern that he is holding, but it's pointing him to go inside, which is like the opposition, the Strength card, the Leo, your heart, your authentic expression. And how do you know what is authentic to you? If you, the Cancer and the Virgo from each side, the semi-sextile, and Leo in opposition with Aquarius, so in conjunction to Capricorn and Pisces, exactly. We have to go through the restrictions and the sense of loss of meaning, the Saturn and the Saturn ruled and the Neptune ruled, exactly being a sign of Aries. We have to go through all these things we are going through the restriction that is impede on us based on the rules of the past, the structure of the reality that is connected to the past, the matrix, to really understand this is not me anymore, because it doesn't feel good. And this is what Venus in Cancer will be helping us with. And of course, Venus in Cancer, is going to conjunct Jupiter. Venus in Cancer is going to conjunct Jupiter, so this is where another amplification is going to take place. So anyway, guys, I think I'll just leave it at that, because like really more and more of these videos are just irrelevant. So you really will not find the right answer from me. I can validate some of your experiences, but you cannot find the answer from me. You can only find it in yourself. And this is where the individuation, splitting of the timelines, and the not incorrect test. What is it? When something is not accurate, inaccurate, when the astrology will become more and more inaccurate, because nobody will be able to tell you, only you know the answer, right? So anyway, so that's it. 29 minutes, excellent. And I am going to pull some cards now. So let's see what the cards want to say about all of these energies. What is the additional, flavor that we can put into the pot for you to then cook whatever you want from, right? Like the ingredients. I'm just giving you the ingredients. What you're gonna cook with it is up to you. I'm just giving you the ingredients, the food for thought, right? So let's see the Moonology Oracle. Let's see what is the additional message from this new moon in Leo that we just experienced, right? Okay, the past. Yeah, the past. There we go. Moon memories, the past. Yeah, the past and the future are colliding in the present moment. So there is an opening. The past is coming around, especially with the Saturn Neptune in Aries, Saturn Neptune in Aries, but Mars is in Virgo, conjunct South Node, but in a new phase. So it's saying the past is coming around for us to create a new opening from clearing and healing and creating an opportunity for something new. You see, there are two people there, that's your higher self and that's your human self, so you're going for a walk, next to the water, the memories of the past, the ocean, to really explore, like, okay, now the past is knocking on my door with the South Node in Virgo. This is going to be case for another year, because the nodes are going to shift next July into Aquarius and Leo. So the past is coming around to knock onto my window, onto my door, to help me to break myself free from it by accepting, okay, this is what was, this is what held meaning, but now it's no longer authentic to me. I don't have to do this anymore, because it's no longer in alignment with this authentic expression I'm birthing at the moment, with the new sense of self, with the new sense of destiny, with the new sense of value, with the new sense of meaning, and with the new way I want to relate to this life and I want to be related to. So yeah, the past is coming around to be healed. And again, we have the full moon, and the next one will be the full moon in Aquarius, indeed. But to me, this really is more about this full moon in Leo. With the full moon in Leo in February, which is right before there's the last lunation before the eclipse season of 2026 begins, which will be with the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius on, I believe, is February 17th. So yeah, here we go. The past is coming around with this lunation, because by the time we have the full moon in Leo and then the new moon in Aquarius, Neptune is back in Aries. So by then we'll understand more, what this really means. And also, yeah, there is all this, you see these new blooms, the past and the future, and the in-between is the present, the window, the opportunity to reconnect with yourself and feel and to remember who you really are, right? And also all that orange, right? All that beautiful orange, which is all about the sacral chakra. You are recreating yourself in real time. Okay, and then it's funny, I turned this one, stay in integrity, okay? And then at the bottom is, actually, this is funny, this is why I got confused. It's the cover card, seek healing. Yeah, the past is coming around to be healed. Healing and clearing, and staying in your integrity. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Only you know the answers. Okay, now we go to the Hidden Realms, the Oracle of the Hidden Realms from Colin Baron Reid. Again, not a frequent flyer that I use, but I felt that perhaps this time it could be exactly what we need. So let's see what the Hidden Realms want to advise us with regards to these after effects of Leo new moon, and then subsequently moving into the month of August and preparation for the full moon in August, full moon in Aquarius, which will be preceded by the 8/8 portal. But I will make another video about that separately. So let's see the guidance from the Hidden Realms for the right here and now. Guidance from the hidden realm. The metal kiln, discipline, armor. Yeah, this card comes out quite often. Every time, pretty much every time I use this deck, this card comes out. And this is it's upright. So this is what's supporting you, you know, and this is again Saturn, the Capricorn. You know, again, I was talking to my boyfriend yesterday about this, you know, about this. At the moment, we're going through this judgment, you know, which is this clearing of the decks, you know, the Pluto ruled. And it's all because of the world. And I know the card of world. And we're going to pull some major arcana. So let's see if it's going to come. With the world card, it is the graduation. So the new cycle can begin because next year is the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, the 0 and the 1, the Fool and the Magician. We are creating the new cycle. But for that, we need to have discipline, you know, be determined, disciplined, you know, even with the Hermit. Like, again, like I was advised by my shaman yesterday, do nothing. And the nothing you will find is the hardest thing to do. So it's not easy. We always want to distract ourselves. Let me do this, let me do that. What else can I be doing, you know? Whereas doing nothing is exactly what needs to be done sometimes, especially with all the retrograde planets. So yeah, discipline, armor, boundaries. Yeah, boundaries, another big one, boundaries. Let's see what's at the bottom. The spiral dancer, circuit route perception, and this was reversed. Yeah, it's time to break free from all these spirals, you know, going in a spiral, going, not even spiral for me is this. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, it's two things. It's a time to go higher on the spiral and break free from the looping. Go higher on the spiral and break free from the looping, because that's what we've been doing. We were just looping, you know, like just going in circles. But, you know, every time is different. Every time, obviously, we learn more. And the circle is getting wider. But why keep staying in the same, on the same level, on the same floor of the elevator, like my solstice Marisa would say? You know, it's the opportunity to go higher, you know, higher on the spiral, circuit route perception. And yeah, you can see the Nautilus shell, right? Evolution. Yeah, it takes a discipline. It takes a discipline and boundaries to break free, you know, to say no, not in my name, no more. To move beyond that. To move beyond that. And she again has the, she's got it in her hand, you know, the light, the evolution, it's in your hand, you know, and there is all this pink, you know, the higher heart. Pink from your heart, be guided from your heart. And again, isn't this like a butterfly, right? Like a butterfly, like a spiritual butterfly. And here as well, the evolution. Yeah, is the opportunity to create your own future, to raise above, you know, the raise above the looping, the raise above the perception of the mass collective consciousness. Yes, there are things happening. The things will continue to be happening, but do you want to keep being stuck in the same story? So it takes discipline and boundaries, you know, and determination to focus on that new level of the spiral, new level of evolution that you want to bring into your own manifested reality, your own experience. And everybody can make the choice. So that's why you are not responsible for somebody else's choices. Everybody is responsible for themselves with these regards, you know, unless you are taking care of somebody under 18-year-old, and then obviously, you know, their level of maturation is not ready to take the responsibility. But apart from that, everybody grown up has to take responsibility, you know, if they have the mental faculties, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, that's what I feel about that card. And then this one is the Nature Whispers. I love this deck, so I wanted to use it, and also because it's got the beautiful butterflies. This is my inner child loved this deck because it's so like a fairy tale. The pictures are like from a fairy tale book. So Whispers of Nature. Okay, what is Mother Gaia wanting to advise? Mother Gaia, because Venus is gonna move into Cancer. So Cancer as the mother, the true mother, the Mother Gaia, our host, you know, this planet. Without this planet, we can't survive. The planet is going to survive without us, no problem. But we will not survive without this planet, you know. So what is the guidance, the advisement from Mother Gaia? Okay, Whispers of the Nature. Let's see. Mother Gaia. Okay, there is a flyer. Let's see. Be your best self always. This reminds me of the Integrity card. Where was the Integrity card? Yeah, see yourself, you know, truly, honestly, authentically, the true self. Yeah, and here is the seahorse, right? Isn't seahorse like about moving slowly but steadily, you know? Yeah, Be your best self, 24. Oh yeah, and I didn't even look at the numbers over here. Yeah, the Metal King, 37, of course, the number 10. If you want to go into the new cycle and create a new, be the conscious creator of your reality, to create your new fool's journey, number 10, you know, it takes some discipline, you know, 37 for the year 10, and this is 5. Of course, 5. Yeah, the 5 is coming up quite a lot as well. Yeah, because we need this chaos, you know, to break us out of the sleep state, to actually make us pay attention in the present moment. Again, something I mentioned in my practical application of astrology. If everything is going smoothly, then we don't even notice what's going on, right? We need sometimes this chaos and disturbance, you know, the number 5. That's why, you know, people are usually not too happy about number 5. And also all the minor arcana in tarot, the number 5 cards are not popular. They are not popular. Nobody wants number 5, you know. Whether it's 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, you know, 5 is not the favorite one. But sometimes that's what's necessary to make us be present, pay attention, and yeah, be your best self always. You know, so you are getting where you're meant to go. Sometimes it's not the speed you want, but you know, this seahorse is faithful, it's loyal. You know, it's gonna get you where you need to go. It's like your physical body, you know, the green, you know, your physical vessel. You are going where you're meant to go, so don't worry, you know, like it's like also like the higher self, you know, the higher self is like, I'm not in rush, you know, the higher self sitting here, I'm not in rush, you know, let's enjoy the views, you know, like, okay, you need to go and see this view again, you know, like have some chat with these people again, recreate the same dynamic, like, no problem, we have time, you know we're going where we meant to go, which is this source, right? Look at that source, you know, like the ocean, the source. So the higher self over here is just hitching the ride, just enjoying, you know, like there is no judgment. But with the seahorse, like, I'm gonna take you where you need to go, don't worry. We know that we all here on a borrowed time, so how are we gonna spend the time, you know, what scenery we enjoying? The higher self is having a blast either way, you know, like, oh, this is great, you know, this is great. So yeah, at the bottom, what do we have? New experiences and possibilities. Okay, now we have the next layer. Oh, and yeah, I forgot again, 24. 24 is number 6. That's again the number that's been popping up quite a lot, balancing, you know, balancing. And here we got the number 18, number 9. Perfect. Yeah, new experiences and possibilities. And this is a moon card in tarot, which is all about the past, right? And we have the past here. The past is coming around to be healed, right? To be created, recreated. And here is the horse. Next year we have the fire horse here, you know, the freedom, new experiences and possibilities. So yeah, you know, we have the opportunity to enjoy the views for one more time, you know, enjoy the views. You know, you might feel like I feel that time just paused, you know, before I'm telling everyone that, oh my god, the time is going so quickly. I feel like, you know, Uranus was in Gemini for one day, I felt the week has gone already, and now is the complete opposite. Now my time has completely stopped. It's like going so slowly. So this is like this horse, you know, because it's saying like, okay, you know, because we're shifting the timelines, you know, like we kind of in the in-between, you know, where we are in a waiting room, you know, the pause button has been hit because things have to be healed and cleared, you know, with all the green. So we can get into this new experience, you know, because this is a year 9. This is the last time, you know, so let's enjoy. Like I was saying to my boyfriend, you know, let's enjoy. This is the last time, so let's enjoy it, you know. Like when you know something is coming out of production, even if it's not your favorite thing, you know, if they tell you like, okay, this flavor of ice cream, you know, this is last time, you know, we're never gonna make it again, and it's not your favorite, but you're like, okay, go on then, you know, because it's not gonna be here anymore. It's the same thing, you know. So it's this number 9, you know, with the horse, with the fire horse, the year we enter into next year. What is the horse? Horse is all about the freedom, the wild horse, you know. You this is so funny because of course with the new moon in Leo, you know, the authentic expression, we're all gonna get wild again. It's the be wilded, you know, like going back to the basics, going back to that authentic expression of the innocent child before all the conditioning and wounding sets in. Like, okay, who was I before everybody else made me to become whoever, you know. So yeah, the number 9, this is the last time, number 9 be culminating, because next year new experiences, new possibilities, new perception. So through this number 9, through this, you going through this slow motion, You know, I don't know, maybe for some people it's not the case, for me it's the case. Through this slow motion, we have the opportunity to really see, really pay attention. What was there? Wasn't there like one like perception? Oh yeah, this one. Really see, you can really see what's going on. You can really see it because we are in a slow motion now. The time has stopped, you know, everybody retrograde almost. You know, Mars Venus already was retrograde, but you know, Jupiter is not going retrograde in November, but everybody else is retrograde, especially with Chiron now added to the mix. Everybody retrograde, slow motion. Why is nothing going on? Why is nothing changing? Isn't this a bloody Leo season? Shouldn't there be a lot happening? No, because we have to really see. We really have to see what really is happening. We really have to see the past so we can heal it and clear it. We can heal it and clear it. So then we can go into the higher level of the spiral, right? Higher level of the spiral to the true self. The true self that is ever growing, ever expanding, you know. But at the same time, the higher self is enjoying the ride. Don't worry about it, you know. So yeah, there will be a whole new universe opening up for us next year. And we are creating it through this year number 9. Because that which was is not just going to disappear. The energy is here. We have to transmute it, transform it, transcend it. It's not just going to disappear because I don't want it no more. No. Like, that's why, like, for people like me who feel like the time has just slowed down and why is nothing changing? I want to be somewhere else already and I have to deal with this old stuff. I don't want to be here, you know, and the time is going slow when you're doing what you don't want to do. But it has to be done, you know, it has to be done. Because at the same time, while you're going through this, you are creating the new. The new is being anchored, is being rooted. In this year 9, the new is being rooted. You're creating the foundation. Look at the butterfly. By you going through the muck, the butterfly in the ground, you know. Digging deep. Digging deep. I love this deck. This is an awesome deck. Highly recommend. Alright guys, and we'll be speaking a lot about the inner child. So let's just pull the card from the inner child and then we close with the major arcana and we call it a day. So let's see, inner child, what is the message? What is the message from the inner child? The true, pure, authentic essence of who you are, the innocence, the gateway to your soul, the inner child, who you came here as. Okay, what is the message? Inner child message. For the new moon in Leo, after effects. Okay, okay, oh, okay, we have 2. Become aware. And be still. Surprise, surprise. And at the bottom, seek guidance in this. Oh my God, there is another one. Seek healing, seek guidance. Seek healing, seek guidance. You know. And yeah, he's got the butterfly wings. And it's like Eastern philosophies, you know, like Buddhism. A lot of stillness. A lot of stillness. Water to feel the emotion, groundiness, right? It's time for a I mean, come on guys, this is a real time. I'm pulling the cards in a real time. It's a time for a different perspective. Circuit root perception. And where was the other one? Where was the other one about the perspective? There was another one. The experiences and possibilities, right? It must have been this one where I was tapping into the perspective stuff. Perspective. And yeah, look, she's holding the light and she's holding the Nautilus shell. And he's like holding a light, isn't he? He's holding something. Or is he... Yeah, what is he doing? It's like a smoke, right? So yeah. Seek guidance in the number 31, which is number 4. What is number 4 is the Saturn. The discipline. You know, also going to the elders, the wisers, you know, to perhaps point you in a direction. They can't tell you, you know, what you need to do. Or if they do try to tell you, do this, become this, then no. But, you know, they can point you, like, you know, like my shaman, my teacher, he pointed me to a book, which I'm listening to at the moment. And he's not going to tell me like, hey, you know, do this, read this, you find this. He's just going to go, oh, well, there is a book that I would recommend. It might help you. It helped me. So, you know, like that. So seek guidance in this, what it is that you might need to help you. But the helping and healing is happening from within. They can't do it for you. Nobody can heal you. Only you can heal yourself. But they can guide you and point you to some tools. So here we go, becoming aware. Listen to the wisdom of the body. You know, this is again the strength card. The body is the vessel, is the conduit. The body is the anchor point. The body is not here. The body is not your enemy or your blockage to becoming enlightened. It is actually the vessel through which you are doing that. You know, without the body, like, you already enlightened in a spirit form. You don't need to worry about it. When you're in a physical body, the body is the thing that allows for that to happen, because it's a technology. The body is a technology, but we were being reduced to seeing this body just as that very basic animalistic thing. You know, the body is so much more than that. So become aware. Number 6, you know, number 6, balance. By understanding what is out of balance, by being still. Again, number 4, it takes discipline to do nothing. You see, here is mostly like the black and white. Look, black and white. Again, a lot of water. You know, that house in the middle, like, this is just crazy. Look at this card. I've never seen this card before. You see all these waterfalls. The house is just in the middle of the water. And then is this heaven and a full moon. And then is these ethers. You know, this is kind of like, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's kind of like, not quite like Aurora Borealis, but you can see like a spirit, you know, like a rainbow here, right? So it's all connected. We can connect to everything. You know, this is you. This is like the house, you know, the vessel. You know, become aware of your body. Become aware of your body. Also with the cheetah, you know, being fast, being patient, you know, being at the top of the mountain. Observe, you know, your higher self is observing. We know that here, right? Where is it? Higher self doesn't rush. Higher self is patient. Higher self over here, you know, I know I'm free. The time is coming, you know, the energies are here, very ripe for picking. But it takes stillness, discipline, determination. If you need seek guidance, there are people who can point you into the right direction. They can show you where to look, but you have to go look at it from the higher perspective. It's time for a different perspective. Cultivates a space of stillness and silence to just be. The hardest thing. Wow. I mean, again, you probably didn't hear anything, you know, anything that you don't know. And it's like, well, how is this even helpful? Because the true wisdom will not come from the outside. The outside just gives you the information. The true wisdom is the lived life, is the Virgo, you know, the lived information when you put it into practice. And nobody can do that for you. Nobody can do it for me. Only you can do it for yourself. There are people who will help you, guide you, mentor you, point you in the right direction or the wrong direction. Sometimes that's necessary as well. But you are the one walking the path. People will walk with you, alongside you, next to you, but you are the one walking the path. That's why nobody else knows your story, only you do. So you have to decide what is the level of the spiral, you know, what is the next step in your evolution that you want to experience. Okay, let's see with this major arcana. Let's see what comes. Major arcana, final message, closing message for this reading. Please, Spirit, what is the guidance? Guidance, the whole deck. The guidance, and there was a justice card. Balance, yes, balance. The guidance from the major arcana. What is the card, please? Nothing is coming. It's like I'm not telling you. Okay, the moon, perfect. The moon, the past, the moon. Here we got it. The moon, the past. The past is coming. The past is here. The still moment. We get in there, but we might not see. We might not see the moment because it's so subtle. Because first we need to go through the past. You know, we need to see it, feel it, be still, be aware. Be still, be aware. Seek guidance if you need to. Be still, be aware. But yeah, the Eastern philosophy is very helpful at this time. The moon. Yeah. Opposition Hermit. This is a Pisces. North Node in Pisces. Resolution to Venus square the nodes from Gemini. New choices to be made. So the past can be healed. Healing and clearing. Seek healing. What's at the bottom? The Emperor, of course there is, and then the Devil. Perfect. Here we got it. You can become the creator of your reality, but look at that guy. Same. the Metal King. To free yourself from the contracts of the past. Let's see what's underneath. Ah, Hermit. Not telling you. The tarot is being funny. Not telling you. You need to find out for yourself. The future is in your hand. I mean, come on, guys. Like, see, okay, I'm not looking anymore what else is there. But I mean, this is just too funny not to look at it. Okay, so look at this, yeah? We already looked at this. We already looked at this. Look at this geekiness over here. Yeah? We already looked at this, yeah? Perfect. Discipline, determination, strategy. Becoming your own creator. And now look at this. Doesn't it look the same? Yeah? So how are you gonna create? By going within. Virgo. Living life. Put it into practice. Breaking free from the contracts of the past. The past is here to liberate yourself. What is this? This is a Saturn. Right? This is a Capricorn. Capricorn. Capricorn is in Aries. It's saying it's up to you. You know, Mars is in Virgo. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to all of us. The past can be released. But you have to do it. You have to do it by not doing, by going within and finding the way that is right for you. The future is in your hand. Future is in your hand. The next level of evolution is in your hand. It's in your hand. Nobody else is yours. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. This was an interesting ride over here. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to book a reading with me, do it now. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until November. And if it's your birthday month, you get 25% off. And if you're not interested, that's great. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching my videos. And yeah, also, that was the last thing that I forgot to mention. The way I'll do my videos and what will be offered on my channel will change coming September. Because like I said, there are things happening in my personal life and everything will have to be adjusted. So anyway, guys, with that, I wish you a wonderful weekend, wonderful week ahead. Fantastic beginning of August, and yeah, and then I'll see you in the next one for the full moon in Aquarius. Much love, everyone, and bye for now.